Compliments versus insults. One of the craziest things that I don't really understand, but it's just a fact, is for some reason, as far as comedy goes, compliments will get you nowhere to make somebody laugh. However, insults, okay, especially if done properly, are always funny. Um, for example, if I talk about how great I am, that's not funny. But if I talk about how, not tall or not strong or not attractive, I'm just making stuff up. I'm not saying that these are true, right? Because I'm definitely uh, hot, tall, and extremely strong. Um, Not say I'm just messing. See, that's sarcasm, right? But even then, you can't actually say those things, and it registers with an audience. It's kind of like the news. Think about it like this: you don't ever watch the news if there was a news story and they said today was going to be or yesterday was a beautiful day out, the perfect weather, and everybody had a great day. But if there was a news story where it was like yesterday was the worst recorded day ever, this and that, for some reason it's like negativity attracts. And I don't really understand it. But again, the crowd is always right. So that's why the primary things that I talk about is, but I try to make fun of myself as much as possible. But another thing that I do a lot of now is I'm actually doing stuff with music, which is very different and unorthodox and funny, and even some magic tricks. And I'm not going to get into that because, I get paid for a reason. But yeah, I really want to do different things in comedy. And everybody has a very standard format. If you think of what a stand up comedian is, it's a guy on stage telling jokes. Okay. Well, what if I could be more creative in addition to just that? I don't mean by doing funny songs. I'm being very vague because I don't want to give out what I'm doing now, and I don't think that giving away a strategy is ever helpful. Um, but anyway, getting back to what I was saying, I think it's very fascinating when I'm going through jokes and I'm trying to deliberate which ones I should add. If I come up with a new idea, I will say them to somebody. And honestly, when I say a new joke, I don't really have a clue if it's going to work or not. So sometimes when I'm saying jokes, somebody looks at me like, this is the most unfunny guy I've ever heard. And then I'll tell them the next joke, and they're like, that one was pretty funny. I'm not telling you a joke because I know it'll work. I'm telling you a joke the first time I'm saying it to figure out if it works. Because a lot of times, the even crazier part is when I say something and if I think it's going to be a funny, a lot of times it's not. And the ones that I do not think are going to be funny, and they don't even make sense to me, like how they just wouldn't make me laugh or whatever, are hilarious. So it really does. It works the most backwards way. Comedy is definitely, in my opinion, it's definitely the strangest. And arguably, it's the most dedicated and most difficult to do because I'm not relying on my band members. Um, I After I impress you one time, I have to impress you again uh, seconds after that and repeat it to the exact tempo. I can't just sing a song and have everybody dancing or singing with me or something like that. It's the only art form where you need crowd participation and the success of each joke to continue the next joke. The success of a quality 6 to 8 seconds, followed by the quality of a 6 to 8 next seconds. I keep saying 6 to 8 just because that's kind of like the ratio that I like to have. I like to try to have a joke every 6 to 8 seconds and making you laugh. Um, that could just be the setup. And then directly after that, another laugh around like the 15-second mark. So I try to get at least like 4 to 6 laughs. Eight would be great per minute. Um, but again, these aren't complaints. These are just observations. It's strange that, you know, insults are more attractive than compliments. Again, I said this is like opposite world. It's strange that uh, unlike music, the technicality and the difficulty and the reward of even the observation of even seeing it be more difficult is very non apparent. No one really realizes that. And my golden thing that I always try to do is I try to make it look effortless because I think stylistically there's something really beautiful when you see somebody do something that looks extremely easy when in fact it could be extremely hard, but it's hidden because they're so good. They're so practiced, they're so well rehearsed, they're so creative. And I basically designed a new format because, in the most non disrespectful way, people's attention spans now are a lot shorter than it used to be. I think they said on Instagram on average, if somebody isn't watching your video for the first 2 to 4 seconds, they've already decided against it and go to the next one. So, when you're swiping on Instagram, I mean, you turn into like a dang zombie, some crazy like robot machine, right? Where you're just swipe, looking, swipe, and keep swipe looking, right? Until you're there long enough. So I'm starting to put one-liners, short, funny, separate jokes, massive amount of them on the front of my show to get everybody locked in, to their attention. Then I diversify my show and I start to get into stories. Then I do some magic and some music stuff. And then I hit 1 hour pretty quick. And yeah, I just wanted to get this out because it's just very strange to me when I'm actually working on new material right now. Kind of. It's actually old material, but I didn't ever say it. It's like I'm always writing more material than I ever get a chance to say on stage. Like, if I read all the material I have, and I'm not exaggerating, if I read it out loud like it was, chapters in a book, I could probably be reading for 2 weeks. And I'm not saying that. I've been writing for a long, 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 long time. And I've only actually been getting on stage. I've been writing since essentially 2008, right? Um, and I have jokes in here that were funny, that work. I haven't ever got an opportunity to say. So I had different folders between like one liners and insults and this and that and everything else. But when I'm on stage and I start telling jokes, the ones that are the insults, more than the interesting observations, the crowd loves to hear that trash talk. It's just something about it. I don't get it. I'm not mad at it. And ironically enough, that's actually my favorite kind of comedy is making fun of uh, individuals and their shortcomings and stuff like that. But it's also kind of edgy, which it shouldn't be, um, because nowadays, in my opinion, everybody is very kind of caught up in arms with being nice and sensitivity. It's weird. Like you can't have it both ways. You can't say that uh, you like insulting jokes until it's something that's personal to you. I don't really know it's personal to you, so I just continue to say insults. But the way I the trick that I learned is if I say these insults and they're about me and it's self-deprecating, that's like a second layer of being insulting because it's like a protected group that I can actually target, you know, like a girlfriend or a best friend or your car, something that you take ownership of. Um, that's my best that's my best advice if anyone was listening to this for advice on how you do that. So anyway, I'm gonna get back to my writing, and I know I had to as I always say, this podcast isn't just for the listener; it's for me too, to make a mental note and a physical impression of a memory, and making it so I can instill this moment and be able to recall on it later. It's just fascinating. I love comedy, absolutely everything about it. I could talk about it for days, but I got to get back to my writing, and I hope everybody has a beautiful day. I am Benja Well Done. Thank you for listening. I'm out. Peace.